Tuesday, September 13th at 8 o'clock. You better be at the Smith Center in the Cabaret Jazz Room to see Elisa Fiorillo.
Yeah, you said it good.
Well, I'm very good at the E names.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
All my kids are names begin with an E.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
And look, it's uncanny to me that, I mean, you're performing on Tuesday with a big band. How many pieces do you have behind you?
19 pieces.
19-piece
Yes.
orchestra. I mean, where else do you see this anymore? In such a great room, it's such
don't.
you know, it's like I don't know if you haven't been to the Cabaret Jazz Room. I mean, it's very intimate. There's not a bad seat anyway. It's very casual. I mean, it's cool.
Yes, very
Right?
Art Deco, very cool.
Art Deco.
Takes you back.
Right, but you have, you know, you perform like that one day, and then you're performing a different day. You know, you performed with Prince and Sheila E. And
Yep.
so how do you balance those two different genres of music?
I am a jack of all trades when it comes to singing. I started when I was very young. I did Broadway, I did opera, I did jingles, I did, then I suddenly...
And you did Star Search.
And I did Star Search. I won Junior Star Search and got a record deal, and that's when I ended up working with Prince. And then 20 years later, he called me on the phone after seeing my YouTube clip and said, hey, you want to join my band? And then, unfortunately, when he passed away, Sheila E. reached out to me, and I did the BET Awards.
So he discovered you in a YouTube clip?
Well, he knew me, but he hadn't
right.
talked to me in 20 years, and then he saw my clip and said, hey, what's she doing? So then he called me back.
Yeah, and speaking of clips, I think we have one of you.
Oh.
Let's take a look.
The show. Yeah. Are you hot, yo? Yo. You know why? Why? Cause you cool. Cool. Say, Lisa. Yeah. Are you hot? No. Do you know why? Why? Cause you cool. Cool.
Fill me up so high that I could touch the sky. Nobody else loves you like me. Now you're turning. That's not the way. There's nothing that I can do or say. Baby, why you treat?
You know, people have, since Prince has died, people have a lot of stories about him. And, you know, most people think he was a little bit peculiar, right? What was your opinion of him?
I think he was definitely, he was private, so people might have thought that he was peculiar, but actually he was a very, very funny guy. And I had an incident where we sang Take Me With You on stage, and I had a ponytail in my hair, and I accidentally turned my head and slapped him in the head place with it. And after the show, he says, you know you hit me with your ponytail. I never wore a ponytail after that. No, but he was so kind to my daughter. He played Twinkle Twinkle Little Star on the guitar, and she sang, and he'd let her come to my rehearsals, and when I wouldn't bring her, he'd say, where's your daughter? I'm like, I'm here to work. Like, I'm not bringing my daughter.
Yeah.
No, he was very kind, very generous, and not peculiar. Knew what he wanted. Very much a
demanding
perfectionist.
in that regard. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So when you won Star Search, and that was for people who don't remember. I mean, that was
the big
it was
American
kind
Idol.
of, yeah, it was like America's Got Talent.
Yes.
Right. When I'm sure you watch these shows now.
Oh yeah.
And what was the big difference between Star Search in the time that you were there and what's going on in American Idol or America's Got Talent?
I think nowadays people copy people too much. I think you keep hearing the same voice, like people trying to mimic. Where back in the day, it seemed like people had their own voice.
Right.
Nowadays, it's just very generic. Everybody's kind of, I don't know. I don't watch them because I get tired of hearing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, no, it seems to me, I was watching, in fact, last night, and it seems to me they go out of their way, some of the singers, to have like this, you know, big voice. And
or sing like they're English when they're not English, you know, like that kind of stuff, trying to be Adele. And
But your singing is beautiful, and we have a
you.
clip of that, so let's take a look at that as well.
Fascinating rhythm, you got me on the go. Fascinating rhythm. What a mess you're making. The neighbors want to know why you're always shaking. Each morning I get up with the sun to find at night no work has been done. I know that once it didn't matter, but now you're doing wrong when you start to patter. Won't you take a day off, decide to run along somewhere far away off? Oh, how I long to be the girl I used to be.
And that's the Bruce Harper Band,
band,
right?
yep,
Big band.
big
And you'll be
band.
performing with them
With them.
this Tuesday.
Yes.
8 o'clock.
I'm excited.
Smith Center.
Yes. Be there.
Jazz Room. You know, when you're singing now, obviously you have a great range of types of music that you do.
Right.
But doing the big band, I mean, commercially it's got to be, you know, difficult in today's world.
It is.
It seems like there's just less and less places to find this
Right.
kind of music.
But I believe that quality always will stand the test of time. And when I sing that music, it's me completely. My body everywhere goes to a different place. That's why I've decided that this is my thing. And when I left touring with Prince, he said to me, Elisa, you should join a big band. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah, that's where your calling is. That's
Right.
what you do best. So I listened and I got a big band. And now
And if you had a choice of singing with anybody, past or present, who would it be?
Well, there's two. One would be Ella Fitzgerald. She's my favorite. And currently alive, I would probably like to do a duet with Michael Bublé. And
Right.
I'm going to have that happen. I just know it.
And Michael Bublé, you know, somewhat started out, you know, with this genre of music. Harry Connick, you know, they seem also
They
get
go
away
pop
from
a little
it.
bit.
Yeah, they move,
yeah.
right?
That's the
Yeah.
nature of the business. You've got to sell records, but I feel it's important to stay true to yourself. And if it's not true, then it's not going to work.
And I want to talk about the musicians for a minute. 40 years ago, when people, you know, you go to school, you learn how to play the violin or the saxophone, and you grow up and you become a musician. It doesn't seem to happen that way anymore, does it?
No, it's scary. My dad's actually a classical pianist. He studied with Vladimir Horowitz, and he taught at Temple University back in Philly, where we're from,
Right.
for 46 years. And just watching these classical pianists learning classical, you know, having that as their major, you get scared for them. You know, like, where are you going to go with this? And it's kind of sad that the world has changed so much, and the music business has changed so much. I mean, doing records, and it's not what it used to be.
Is it more difficult to find musicians today than it was then?
Actually, there's a lot of hungry musicians out there just wanting to play. So no, not too hard to find them, but
I mean, I think guitar players are all over the place,
yeah,
right? But
there's a guitar
How do you
player
find
everywhere.
a trumpet player, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, there's a lot of them, and we definitely have a great band, and we're so proud of all the musicians. We like to give everybody solos and, you know, feature everybody in the band. It's not just about me, and it's not just about Bruce. It's about, without them, you know, the whole band is nothing. So it's a great band. So.
Oh, great. Hey, look forward to seeing this this Tuesday, 8 o'clock at the Smith Center, Elisa Fiorillo and the Bruce Harper
Big Band.
Big Band.
Yes.
We'll see you next week.
While there's such temptation